This is the story of the power of a universal ideal, how the words of one man can change the course of history and affect the destiny of nations and peoples. The story began in April 1990 when Dr. and Mrs. Sun Myung Moon traveled to Moscow to participate in a global conference of world leaders. During a private meeting with President Mikhail Gorbachev, Dr. Moon pledged his support for the spiritual renewal of the Soviet Union. As a first step, Soviet professors and students were invited to seminars in the United States beginning in July 1990. During the week-long program, participants attended lectures outlining the unification principle and visited famous and historic sites. By August 1991, 3,000 people had attended these international leadership seminars, returning to their country filled with hope for the future. These hopes were almost shattered on August 19, 1991, when anti-reform hardliners attempted to overthrow President Gorbachev. For 3 days, the entire world watched anxiously as the people of the Soviet Union faced their biggest test since the beginning of perestroika. Many of the young people manning the barricades were students who had graduated from the international leadership seminars. The students' sincerity even helped to turn Soviet soldiers into allies in their fight for freedom. Later, the Soviet Vice Minister of Higher Education, Dr. Marat Guriev, commented,
Filled with a burning desire for freedom, these young people took the lead in defending our country.
As the Soviet Union disintegrated, tens of thousands of students, educators, and civic leaders attended numerous unification principle seminars at dozens of locations throughout the Soviet republics. They were inspired by a message of hope based on spiritual ideals. With these events as a background, over 7,000 people welcomed Mrs. Hak Jahan Moon during her speech in the Moscow Kremlin.
I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to you for welcoming me to your beautiful country.
In 1992, with the support of the Russian Ministry of Education, 1,600 educators attended a program in the Crimea entitled Spiritual Renewal and School Education in Russia. It was sponsored by the International Educational Foundation, IEF, an organization founded by Dr. Moon to promote the teaching of spiritual and moral values. IEF systematized the major concepts of unification principle into several books for use as school curriculum materials.
In the philosophy of the unification movement, I found a lot of ideas that I worked on as a teacher and as a specialist in the theory of education.
My World and I, The Way to Unification, and an accompanying teacher's guidebook were published in 1993. In 1994, a second book, My World and I, The Way to Love, was published and accompanied by a parent's handbook. 1997 saw the publication of First Peak, The Way of Action. A two-part volume called I in the World of People appeared in 1998. In 1999, IEF unveiled Love, Life and Family, an abstinence-based sex education program that puts sexuality in the proper context of marriage and family. These materials were reviewed by leading Russian experts. Dr. Orgy Aprisian of the Russian Academy of Science observed,
In a truly holistic way, My World and I introduces the reader to the world of fundamental moral and spiritual values. This may be the first publication of its kind in the Russian language.
School teachers also expressed their appreciation for the new approach. Svetlana Smirnova, a teacher from St. Petersburg, commented,
This course is an amazing discovery for everybody, teachers, parents, and even grandparents. It is as important for our children as the air itself.
Several of the books have been translated into other languages, including Mongolian, Azeri, Moldovan, Tajik, Kazakh, and Kyrgyz. Thousands of school administrators and teachers have attended teacher training workshops where they discussed the importance of moral education in the school system and received practical experience in implementing the course. Since IEF's inception in 1990, more than 10,000 schools in the former Soviet Union and Mongolia have begun using its curriculum materials. Other areas of work include the development of Pure Love seminars. Young people are taught the importance of abstinence before marriage and are encouraged to live a healthy lifestyle free of drug and alcohol abuse. Rallies and other public events are also used to promote the message. Another project designed to help youth develop strong internal qualities as well as good physical skills is the Tongyu Mudo martial arts program. Tongyu Mudo distinguishes itself from other martial arts forms in that it promotes a philosophy as well as training in martial arts skills. The philosophy and training emphasize the development of noble virtues such as self-control, courage, humility, and respect. In the mid-1990s, the International Educational Foundation began its work in Mongolia with the publication of My World and I. The Ministry of Education of Mongolia actively supports the use of this curriculum as part of a national educational initiative. The activities in the former Soviet Union and Mongolia laid the groundwork for the next phase of Dr. Moon's work, the People's Republic of China. As China emerges into an era of material prosperity, it faces the twin challenges of preserving healthy traditional values while modernizing its economy. To achieve balance, the Chinese have been pursuing an enlightened program known as the Policy of Spiritual Civilization. From late 1994 until the end of 2004, 260 programs covering every province have been held in China, from the Manchurian city of Harbin in the north to the Hainan Island city of Sanya in the south, and from the coastal city of Shanghai in the east to the Himalayan city of Lhasa, Tibet in the west. Chinese audiences have been attracted to Dr. Moon's comprehensive concept of universal values. Based on true love, it promotes the integration of the spiritual and material, Eastern and Western philosophy, and traditional and contemporary values. More than a dozen lectures are presented during a 2 or 3 day program covering the major topics of character education, pure love education, and true love and family life education. At the conclusion of each seminar, all participants receive a certificate of achievement acknowledging their participation. As a foreign organization with a values-based message, IEF has been granted the unprecedented privilege of traveling throughout China. The work of IEF began with educators, including seminars for hundreds of school directors in Beijing and Shanghai.
We can learn much from the International Educational Foundation through their very comprehensive approach to character education. The IEF ideas are very close to the best values of Chinese culture.
Lecture presentations are published in books presented to all participants. The National Health Education Institute distributed the presentations through its annual publication. The Chinese Ministry of Education has invited IEF to hold a conference with its textbook writers in charge of preparing the next generation of China's moral education textbooks. These books will reach 250 million students. Mr. Zhang Wangxing of the Central Education Research Institute in Beijing.
IEF's values are very much in line with the goals of Chinese character education programs. We are therefore honored to work together with IEF and have been deeply impressed with their accomplishments within the short span of 5 years. In a survey made in 1992, only 66% of high school students supported the principle of abstinence before marriage. However, in a similar survey in 1999, the percentage who supported the abstinence principle had increased to 89.8%. I believe the Pure Love and Abstinence program promoted by IEF played a major role in changing the students' attitudes.
45 books have been published and distributed throughout China in order to promote the ideals of IEF. These include Youth Pledge, a series of 3 books published in collaboration with the Shanghai Education Commission, Youth Character and Sexual Health Education, published together with the Beijing Capital Normal University, Family Ethics and Character Education, published as a result of a joint conference with the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences, and Happy Healthy Families, published by the China Youth Press. In June 2004, IEF co-sponsored the publication, together with the Police University Publishers, a 4-volume series of books dedicated to the fight against drug abuse. IEF has also co-sponsored several seminars examining the role of Confucianism in modern China. In several cities throughout the country, Chinese and international scholars have discussed and debated the relevance of Confucius' teaching and ethics in an increasingly prosperous society. Programs in China have been co-sponsored by more than 250 organizations on the national, provincial and local levels, representing a wide spectrum of Chinese society, including China People's Friendship Association, All China Women's Federation, Central State Ministry Women's Affairs Commission, China Democratic League, Chinese Education Association for International Exchange, China Society for Juvenile Delinquency Research, China Senior Professors Association, China Confucius Foundation, and Population Cultural Promotion Association of China. Mr. Wu Shuping is the Vice Chairman of the China Democratic League.
I greatly appreciate this undertaking initiated by IEF's founder, Dr. Sung Myung Moon. Dr. Moon is a great man of virtue. He has committed his heart and soul without reservation to the realization of a spiritual civilization throughout the world. This activity will benefit mankind for generations to come. I want to wish Dr. and Mrs. Moon a long life and good health.
Several programs have been held for members of the judiciary, including one in the United States. High Court judges and lawyers attended a conference at the University of Bridgeport, followed by a visit to the U.S. Supreme Court and the U.S. Senate. Youth conferences in the cities of Shenzhen and Chongqing attracted communist youth leaders and juvenile justice officials. Police cadets in the city of Hangzhou welcomed IEF to their academy, and in Changsha City, near the birthplace of Mao Zedong, hundreds of police cadets responded enthusiastically to the program. In an effort to reach out to young people who have had problems with the law, IEF organized several events for prison staff, including this seminar for prison directors in Beijing.
我要代表国际자유基金会创始人문선명博士夫妇向各位问候。
In the city of Tianjin, over 100 juvenile prisoners listened attentively to IEF presentations. At the end of the program, the inmates signed and recited the Pure Love Pledge. Activities to promote values education among students have been held in major universities, including the Ministry of Civil Affairs University, Beijing University, Tsinghua University, the University of Politics and Law, Beijing National Teachers University, Union Medical College, and Beijing Capital Teachers University, as well as numerous other universities throughout China. After hearing lectures, the students sign a pledge and receive a wallet-sized card to carry with them as a reminder of their commitment to a pure and healthy lifestyle. They also receive a booklet entitled Love and Friendship in the Age of AIDS. seriousness of how Chinese people take the issue of moral education can be seen in the audience of more than 1,300 students and professors who took part in an IEF seminar at the local university in the city of Tai'an. Mr. Zhang Li-kun is the former leader of the China Communist Youth League and was a close associate of former Premier Zhou Enlai.
We are happy to work together with IEF because your education in morals and ethics has great significance for our country. Our juvenile population is 400 million, and how we educate them will affect not only our country, but will even influence the world.
IEF in China has also co-sponsored a Service for Peace program, giving young people an opportunity to put their ideals into practice through service projects in local communities. These have included a book exchange program in Hebei province, a 10,000-mile health education tour with the Qinghai Health Education Bureau, and tree planting in Shaanxi province. Through the participation of young people from abroad, local Chinese youth also have an opportunity to study other languages. Through radio, television, newspaper and magazine articles, tens of millions of Chinese have been introduced to the activities of the International Educational Foundation. Numerous organizations have also been spreading the IEF message through their websites. China has a long and beautiful tradition of family ethics, and Chinese people are renowned for their stable families. It is therefore no surprise that one program that has been especially well received in China is the True Love Marriage and Family Blessing Festival. Numerous locations throughout the country, couples participate in a 2-day seminar followed by a marriage blessing ceremony. They make a solemn pledge to renew their commitment to each other. All age groups and walks of life are represented. The beauty and sacredness of the event are a moving experience for many of the participating couples. Many experienced only a civil ceremony when they originally married. The blessing programs have been supported by numerous organizations, including this one in December 1998, which was supported by the Women's Commission of Central State Ministries. Couples in Shandong province pose in front of the famous Taishan mountain, and in June 2004, couples in the city of Shenzhen concluded a week dedicated to the promotion of family values with the blessing ceremony. This blessing ceremony for 184 couples in Beijing on September 28, 2004 commemorated the 2555th anniversary of the birth of Confucius and was co-sponsored by the China Confucius Association. One couple that had overcome tremendous hardships in their life gave a moving testimony. During the ceremony, they tearfully shared a beautiful moment of rededication to a renewed life together. Marriage blessing ceremonies reflect the character of the local provinces and ethnic communities, such as the Korean autonomous province of Yanbian on the North Korean border. A unique feature is the True Love Indemnity Stick ceremony. Couples symbolically strike each other as an act of repentance and forgiveness for past transgressions in their relationship and renew their commitment to love one another. The blessing ceremonies are also a time for couples to share their joy through personal testimonies and entertainment.
One day when we were young, one wonderful morning in May.
In May 1999, on the 5th anniversary of IEF's work in China, Mrs. Hak Jahan Moon spoke at the Great Hall of the People in Beijing. She shared with an audience of Chinese leaders a vision for world peace based on true family values.
위해서 태어났다고도 생각하는 것입니다. 그러나
하나님이 우주를 창조하신 목적이 사람만을 위해서라거나 하나님 자신만을 위한 것이라는
On December 18, 2004, as part of the 10th anniversary celebrations of IEF's work in China, a special blessing ceremony for 120 couples was held in Beijing. Several days later, a banquet was held at the Great Hall of the People. Friends and supporters of IEF came to express their gratitude to Dr. and Mrs. Sun Myung Moon for their 10 years of investment in China and offered gifts as symbols of that gratitude. Looking towards the future, IEF pays special attention to the younger generation. Pure Love abstinence campaigns have been initiated in universities and high schools throughout China. In the city of Shanghai, more than 1,000 students from 80 schools committed themselves to the highest standard of purity and public service. Their devotion ensures that the ideal will go on.
And really are becoming tiny example for young people entire world to really spread this message of youth, pure commitment.